So what we want to do is what they'll do next week is they'll come into my module where they actually have to implement
So good morning everybody. That's pretty good. No, let's have another go though. Good morning everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is coming towards, and I know that you may sit here on a Monday morning thinking, I'm not sure I've grasped the planning and strategy bit, but what I'm telling you is that we're running through it. There'll be opportunities later. Come in, Anna. That's great. There'll be opportunities for us to talk through what you've done already and ask questions later on. I know some of you will have made a start on your assignment. Some of you will still be looking around and reading around the topic. Don't worry, either way, you will get the support that you need. And the 22nd of October, the week of the 22nd of October, is your free go. So you have a little go at sections 1, 2 and 3. And then we give you feedback that has no bearing on your final mark. We won't even remember what we said to you the first time. So you get to do it all for the December deadline. So we want you to feel reassured and supported, even though we're rushing through it a bit. We're talking about the marketing mix this morning. So we're talking about giving an overview, and then later Andrew and his team are coming along and you're doing an interactive exercise, which is a little bit, I think, of a preview about understanding markets module, because you'll be running your own company for an hour this morning. You'll be making those decisions. Now, you may not be making financial and long-term decisions, but you'll be making those promotional, where location, the product, and the price decisions this morning. So you'll have a little run-through of the marketing mix. Those four, you may be quite familiar with, the product, price, place, and promotion questions. We'll also extend into the services, because as we said at the beginning, if you're going to add value to your proposition, then that can often be added through the service mix. You can often give things with your people and your processes and physical evidence, the way that we present things to people, that adds value, particularly for something like holidays, where the product is kind of a little bit difficult to pin down, isn't it? You can really add value with the service mix. So our product, a little bit nebulous, we're looking at a holiday. So it's that, what experience do you want? So we can tap into what people want, right? We can tap into their need for escape from the reality of their lives. People often, my grandma used to never take a holiday. She said she was happy at home. She didn't need to go away, because she really was happy with her life in her home. But many of us could do with a couple of weeks just away from it. And forgetting all those things like the bathroom needs redecorating for me, or the children need help with their homework. Just get away from it all and escape. So you can do this in all sorts of ways, and everybody's decision on that will be different. So you need to understand your segments that you're looking at, the people who will return your money most quickly and easily. So you're looking at matching those people who want to come to your destination and will give you the return on your investment. Looking at moving from the high product, high physical content. You can't get away from the fact that a table is a table, and it's physically there. It doesn't really matter, does it? Who sells you that table? Doesn't even matter, does it? Who made that table? I think all those things are important, and I think we ought to keep them in mind. But if you're talking about personal services, that's high physical. No, we're not. We're talking about high physical content for fast-moving consumer goods at the right end of that spectrum. There's a whole sector, FMCG, that is fast-moving consumer goods. Does anybody have an idea what that might be? What are we talking about when we say FMCG? We're talking about breakfast cereals. We're talking about bread. Fast moving, and people buy their own, so you don't go through a wholesaler to get your bread. You buy one loaf of bread, you buy milk. Are there other examples, Jeanette, that we can think of for FMCG products?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste, good one. Yeah, so we all use toothpaste, I hope, and we get through it, so we regularly buy it. Sometimes that could be said to be a low involvement product. Let's just leave the phones until we've finished the session, okay? And so we get through those decisions. High physical content, low service. It doesn't matter who makes the toothpaste. And it matters, I don't know whether you'd ever sit down, actually. We need more chairs. This room's not big enough. There we are. We suspected as much. So we get into buying electrical goods where maybe we don't understand how they work for us. We need them explained to us. Slightly more people involved in explaining those things to us. When you come to cars, there is a joke in England about car salesmen, trying to sell you something you don't really need, trying to sell you the next specification up, the more expensive car. So the service element becomes more important then. We're going up towards education. The product is your master's degree, your MSc, but the service element is critical in that transaction. Without it, you may not pass your master's degree without people who you trust to deliver the information. People like me, people like Jeanette and Debbie. Medical services, the same thing. My son, 5 years ago now, had a very, very bad break of his femur, the top of his leg broke to pieces. And very traumatic situation in the hospital. I went to the specialist who was going to put an external fixator, it's like a piece of metal around the outside, going through it. And I said to him, I hope you're not offended, but I need to ask you how many times have you performed this operation? Because I was sitting there outside waiting for my son to go through what could potentially be a life-threatening operation, and I wanted to know that the guy who was doing it could do that. The physical bits, the metal around his leg, not important particularly, they needed to be clean and fit for purpose. But the man doing it, very, very important. So you begin to see personal services like your massage person, your physiotherapist, or your trainer, very important. Your lawyer, very important. Those are the sorts of low physical content, but very high service elements. Price is the next P in the product price, often. And we said the other day when we were in the seminars how those people choosing a laptop, you kind of get price bandings, don't you, where you make your decision that I'm going to spend between £200 and £500 for a laptop. I'm going to spend over 500. Or if you're a business, you're going to look at very high specification. And the cost is almost incidental in some transactions. Others, it's critical. That's why for toothpaste, going back to the toothpaste example, they often in supermarkets give you things like 3 tubes of toothpaste and you pay for 2. Because you're going to get through it eventually and they'll give it to you free. You've got the 3rd tube free. Hey, I'm going to buy that. So people go for those promotional prices because they're more swayed by that on those fast-moving consumer goods. Certain things, they're competing on price, and we talked about this in previous lectures. The Asda price, that walking down Beijing market, I heard people saying Asda price to me. So it's a global promotion. Or Waitrose, which is more expensive, allegedly, and they say it's high quality supermarket. So we have Carrefour in France, a mid-range to cheap range of supermarkets. And this bottom one is Harrods Food Hall. So if you get a chance to have a go, it's an absolute cornucopia of delight. Full of vegetables and fruit and fish that is famous across the world for its the displays. And then you've got the place, the logistics, how to get your goods to the place where consumers can access them. The internet has transformed the place element of the offer. So now it's no longer the case that people go to their local shops and buy. It's much more than that. It's about where you're located and how you present yourselves. Amazon now expanding their offer beyond the online retailer. And promotion. So what is, you know, this, I should have put a reference on it, and it's very, very, very bad of me, but I did find this, of the split on spending on promotion in 2010. So digital marketing getting bigger, personal selling probably getting smaller, and we need the comparisons. Advertising, actually, you know, advertising, but it's changed where we advertise. So the promotion end is what people think of when they think of marketing, I think. They say, oh, I can do marketing. They think they can do promotion. And when I started in the business 20 odd years ago, I was a promotion assistant when my first job, because they didn't understand marketing. They didn't do marketing in those days as much. And now it's very much more divided into different areas of the profession. But promotion's where I started. And we have the services mix, which again, you know, we've talked about the 4 Ps of the price, product, place and promotion, and these extra ones: physical evidence, processes, people. And really it's the people that we need to understand and focus on as well, because if you're selling a holiday to people, they need to get on well with those service employees. I went into the bank this morning and was asked if I had considered the Santander 123 account. I've considered it, and you know, leave me alone. I just want to pay my checks in this morning. I found that element of trying to sell things to me while I'm being served annoying sometimes. On a Monday morning when you're in a hurry, it can be irritating. So, you know, the people, the training of your people is critical. Service characteristics. Those are the characteristics of a service. You can't touch it. Intangible means that you can't touch it. You can't separate it from the person delivering that service. You can't, like a can of baked beans is a can of baked beans, is a can of noodle, a packet of noodles. It is what it is. It doesn't matter who made it. It's with a service. You can't separate what you're hearing from me telling you it. Variable. So therefore, I have got actually a bit of a bad back because I went horse riding yesterday. Fabulous morning, lovely day for a horse ride, which I enjoy doing. But I overdid it. I just did a little bit too much, and I'm feeling it in my back this morning. So it's variable. I may not be giving you the best lecture because I'm feeling just a little bit. I think I am. I think I've overcome it. But and perishable. When we go out of this room, it's over. No, it isn't actually, because Simon's filming it, so you can look at it again if you want to on the Blackboard side. But normally it's something, a service is something you can't drop on your foot. You cannot physically do anything with it. It's what it is. So there's a little run through of, there's a couple of books here. There's Evolving to a New Dominant Logic for Marketing. For you as master's students, you might want to have a look at some of these. Quite a complicated theory that these guys have come up with, and it's in the Journal of Marketing. Now, this is a good example of how to reference something in a journal, and it's also, well, it's a few years old now, but you can look at themes in the marketing journals and have a look at that. I'm not going to carry on with this because I think what we're doing is just saying that when you have a service, you have certain moments where you decide to access that service or change to another provider. And those moments are called moments of truth. The real test of the customer orientation, takes place when service failure happens. So how you deal with your complaints, how you deal with people who aren't satisfied with your service. And very often people try to brush that away and pretend it's not happening. For the better companies, for the better organisations, it's not just complaint handling, it's helping us to evolve into a better service. So sometimes people hear facts about service, that when services haven't pleased the people who are accessing them, and they need to understand that there are facts about it, but there's also the emotion, the perception of the brand that goes with it. And you need to train your staff. So I'm going to whiz through this. Service quality differentiation. If your customers value something in your service, if they really care about it, you need to invest in it. Sometimes organisations enjoy doing things, but those things aren't that important to their customers, and so it's called overkill. It's just putting money into something that isn't important to your customers. So you need to be very careful to only deliver what your customers want and not go into too much detail of what they don't want. Okay, so that's me done for this morning. Thank you for your time and your attention. I'm going to hand over to Andrew now to explain the